Hey Tribe, welcome back to my channel. I'm coming on here really quickly to give you one more reading, and this one is going to be focused on self-care, maybe messages from your subconscious, something that you might kind of have a grasp on, but you're like, is that really it? Maybe intuitive hints and stuff like that. You know, I think I'm going to be changing the way I'll be doing things in the future for my private readings too, because you know, over time, the more readings I've done throughout these years, the more I was drawn to doing kind of energy checkup and how people can help themselves in this current moment. Because, you know, when it comes to universe and time doesn't really exist. So if you can do something great for yourself today, it will impact your future, right? So that's something that I want to talk about a bit more often. You probably have noticed, whoever has booked a reading with me, regardless of your questions, I do energy checkup and I talk about certain things that you might need to know, because sometimes we ask questions that are not beneficial for us. And I really like, you know, how some people who come to me for advice, they like, listen, just dig into the energies, tell me what I need to learn, tell me what I need to focus on, you know, something that I might have not seen, you know, with my conscious mind. And those types of readings tend to be the most powerful readings, you know, and impactful at the same time. Because sometimes some questions might be asked that are not going to benefit a person, right? So that's why I do the intro part as well. That's something you can take from this reading, as well as answering the questions. So example, you know, knowing when you will get a new job is not really beneficial for you right now. How does that change things for you? Does it make you feel better? Maybe for a minute, right? But how can you stop doubting? That's what I want to dig into. So on my website, you probably noticed that in description of readings, I say, you know, there is an example of power question and there is an example of question that is not going to be that impactful. For example, when will is not a power question. How can I is a power question, right? So I think the more we work on ourselves and understand our abilities and connect to our gut and our higher self, the easier it is to make, you know, decisions and to see through that veil in a way, you know, the veil, and to kind of break through the conscious mind and get more answers that are not only beneficial in this life, but you might also be, you know, clearing some stuff I wanna say in advance, right? So I don't know what to expect from this reading. By the way, guys, I am quite busy right now practicing introspective hypnosis. That's something that I'll be bringing to my website later on. This whole month is very focused on practice as well as private reading, so that's why I'm not as visible on YouTube as I was before. I really want to take that time and implement the knowledge, you know, practice and communicate with people who have gone through, you know, introspective hypnosis and how that changed, you know, their vibe, their energy. Just today I got a message from someone that I know. She came for a session yesterday, for introspective hypnosis session, and she's someone who tends to be quite stressed and she doesn't sleep really well. She brought her, you know, issues to the table, something that we might be looking at when it comes to introspective hypnosis. You can bring your issues. By the end of the day, your soul, your subconscious will take you places that needs to be prioritized, right? So we can still look at certain things. Okay, I'm depressed, or I don't sleep well, or I have anxiety. You know, we can dig into that and see where it's coming from. But sometimes your subconscious takes you to a completely different memory that needs to be looked at first. So for her, she's quite anxious and she wasn't sleeping really well, and she texted me today saying, listen, I slept like a baby. I don't remember when I slept that well. She said, I went to sleep 10:30 in the evening, and I could barely wake up around 10 a.m. and my partner was saying, what's wrong with you? You know, we've never slept that long. And she's like, I'm completely, you know, my system has restarted. So after hypnosis, what happens, you know, I like to say that the background apps are still working. That's why for a person, I'd say, hey, listen, once the session is over and done with, drink some water, give yourself enough rest. Preferably do not, work if you can. So that would be an evening session, that would be the best. And just kind of relax and go to sleep, and sleep as much as you feel like you need, because what's happening beyond your conscious mind, your soul is working still, right? We're touching on a couple of things that needs to be looked at, and implement certain suggestions, and almost like, I want to say, upgrade certain scenarios, and help people out in certain areas in their life. But that's very much to do with their well-being, right? And once you go to sleep, your soul is, never sleeping. It's still working, especially after the session. Everything is kind of, I don't want to say triggered. I don't know what right word to use for it. We kind of move things around, right? And we put things in places so the person can have it easier. Depends on what kind of, topic or what kind of issue we worked on during the session. So that's why I'm not very present right now, because there is a lot that I'm doing behind the scenes. And I found introspective hypnosis super powerful as an extra tool to what I'm already doing. So I'm gonna take some time to see how I want to implement this. Will these be completely separate sessions? Will I start, let's say, a consultation intuitively, and I'll do almost like a energy checkup with a person, and we'll do a mini session, or visiting memories if some things will come up as triggers. But I'm kind of still thinking about the ways that I'm going to do it. So that's the update, okay? That's the update. If you sat through this, thank you very much. Tribe, love you. And we're starting with your decks. Today I want you to choose from decks. Don't worry, I'm going to show one at a time, but there's going to be a picture included a bit later on where there's a whole layout, and you can stop the video there. For the first pile, we have the In-Between Tarot. For the second one, we have the Haunted House Tarot. For the third, I don't remember the name of this deck, but I'm pretty sure someone will know in the comments. I was gifted this deck and I didn't have a box. And for the fourth, we have the 𝒃𝒐𝒌 Tarot. So choose your deck. There is an image upcoming. Stop the video there if you need to, and I'll catch you in timestamps. Hey guys, whoever has chosen the In-Between Tarot, I'm gonna do a bit of channeling before we will get into your reading. Let me see what's coming up. Okay, so for some people I'm seeing bags being packed, and there are two scenarios. So this might come through as something that you're already aware of, or maybe your subconscious is asking you to look into this a little bit more. There are two scenarios. For one group of you, you might be thinking about relocating, moving, or implementing a little bit more diversity in your life. And for others, I'm seeing bags of stuff being thrown out. So almost like a spring clearing, that's what it reminds me of. That would be great for some of you, especially if you feel emotionally overwhelmed or your mind is a bit messy, there are a lot of thoughts. I'd say do some clearing in your home, in your space, and have a good nap afterwards if you can. I'm also seeing someone using some type of spray. And that spray has something in it. Would it be essential oil? Would it be eucalyptus? Or would it be something that you vibe with? Mint, I'm smelling peppermint, mint. That'd be a good, clearing type of spray. Maybe for some of you, you want to you want to hang some eucalyptus in your bathroom too. This pile feels very spa-like. Maybe that's something that you need to do, or that's something that you have been thinking about lately. This is a big clearing type of energy, you know? It's almost like I'm seeing someone wake up and they're like, ooh, the house smells nice, everything is tidy, I'm in a good place, you know? So maybe that's something that you thought of. And I'm seeing someone looking at papers and books. I'd say that would be a good time to organize your documents, formalities, or to study and take some more time to learn. But mostly for a lot of you, it's almost like I'm seeing taxes, or I'm seeing bank statements, something to do with your formalities. Maybe some of you have been postponing something, so I'd say if that's the case, maybe take a look at it a bit earlier than the deadline is, because it does seem like you need to be grounded for that and to have extra time. Make sure everything is filled on time. You read the small font if you're signing documents of some sorts. Okay, let me have a sip of coffee. If you can hear any background noise, we have refurbishment going on upstairs, I think. I don't even know from which side, because sometimes it feels like it's from the left, sometimes it's above. I think there are a couple of flats. But let's see what else. I'd say a relationship with a mother is important right now. If your mother is deceased already, she might be around you around this time. You might feel presence. I'd say a week from up to this reading and a week after, somewhere, 2 weeks more or less, you might feel a bit more presence. For others of you, this mother image who is deceased can be also grandma, someone who raised you, because that's how they come through, right? I was the mom, I raised them. I'm hearing that for some of you, she wants to say that they've been talking about me, meaning you've been talking about her, or you want to connect. So that's sweet. For others of you, maybe you're gonna be looking at relationship with your mother, how to have a stronger bond. There is improvement with feminine in your life, especially the mother figure. Okay, shall we use some cards? Okay, what does pile number 1 need to know right now? Thank you. I'm gonna show you cards in a minute. By the way, I want to add to this mother persona. Some of you will have a very strong connection with someone who will act like a mother, meaning they'll somehow help you on the emotional level. So it can be professional of some sorts, or it can be just someone in your circle. Someone is being cared for, okay? There is that warm presence here that I'm sensing. Okay, 1 second, one more card wants to come up. Here you go, that Queen of Cups is coming up here, you see? This deck is a bit different, and I read every deck as personality, as a different persona. So I'll be tuning into imagery the most here. But what you have is the Ace. We're starting with the Ace of Wands. Then we have the Six of Cups. I'm not going to put it too close to camera because it doesn't focus on front camera. I don't know why when it's from close up. We have the Eight of Cups. We have the Queen of Cups. Okay, so what it is that you need to know. See, there is that departure here, Eight of Cups and the Queen of Cups. Maybe someone has left your life who felt like a mother figure. It doesn't have to be for all of you. It can be also a father, but overall, what's happening here, you see these people are coming together. So I'd say what to focus on right now is peacefully leaving those who have left, right? Gracefully leaving and making peace with them, those people in your life. Yeah, because there is something new waiting for you. Almost like a new chapter. but that new chapter is very connected to the loved ones. That's what I want to say. This is super sweet type of energy. I do believe maybe for some of you, you need to take some time for yourself and do things that you love doing. Like when you were a kid, what did you like to do? Where did you play, right? Do you need to go and be on your own for a moment? Maybe in nature or wherever you feel you're drawn to do that. It does seem like you'll be drawn to places. Now, there is a spirit helping you here with new endeavors. Take a look at the Ace of Wands here. There's a reason I started talking about spirit, right? Now, because a lot of people are watching this video, the spirit doesn't have to be only the sea spirit. This can be your guide too, maybe your ancestor, whichever energy you are closest to right now. But they almost like they helping you to spark this new fire, you know, this maybe new endeavor of some sort, or an idea that you recently had. What pile number 1 doesn't see happening? I want to tune into behind the scenes, so maybe that's how I'm gonna name this video. I'm not sure. Let's see, behind the scenes. Okay, I was told to use another deck for that. Wow, where is the Magic of You Oracle? Once I'm being drawn to Magic of You Oracle, I know that shit's gonna be deep. Okay. All right, let's see. What do you need to look at right now? Sometimes I'm being drawn to read in these cards from a book. We'll see. Burn away the past. Here you go. We talked about this, right? Making peace with what was. Let's read about this. This is very straight to the point, but I find the descriptions in the book very almost like poetic. Maybe there's going to be a sentence for you guys that will stick with you. That's something that you need to take with yourself. Okay, we have resilience. It says, the girl, I'm going to hold it up. The girl of resilience is relaxed. She impassively stokes and stirs the flames of her past at her feet. In the crowded room of memories, she fans the flames without fear of letting go of events, ideas, people, and places that once defined her. She is comfortable in her room. Okay, a message came through. Let's talk about this. We'll continue in a minute. That once defined her. What I'm getting from this straight away, something that has happened in the childhood doesn't define you anymore, and that's something that you probably want to leave behind. Okay, making peace with certain events that have somehow triggered you or somehow hurt you in any way, any traumatic young days events. It does seem like you're trying to leave that behind. The little girl who was hurt by, let's say, this person or this scenario doesn't serve me as a grown-up. That's what I'm seeing. I've made peace with what happened, and now I'm a new person. I realize a lot of things. It's about a fresh start. Maybe for some of you, that's something that is being looked at here, or that you are doing. It says she's comfortable in her room and is not leaving her space. The smoke does not overcome her. The window is open and a branch of the tree of life reaches in to guide her always to heightening clarity and wisdom. When resilience appears, it is time to stoke the fires of your past and release that which no longer serves you. Know that to rise like a phoenix, it is necessary to dive into the flames. Maybe for some of you, you've been seeing, hints of phoenix, maybe imagery of phoenix, or someone talk about phoenix in videos lately. That was your message, if that's the case. Be warmed and confident in the light that comes from burning away and releasing the bad and the good of the past. Release it all to be reborn with Engi, the inner flame. See, the inner flame ties in very nicely with the Ace of Wands here. Very nice. I like this. I like this reading a lot. It does seem like someone almost like want to breathe in, breathe out, but also shake my hands, like I'm shaking everything off that I don't need. This can be energetic. This doesn't have to be some type of, traumatic event in the past. But it could be for some of you. All right. Let's see what else. Pile number 1. Anything else that needs to be looked at here in order to improve or help yourself? What's happening behind the scenes? Look at how chill this guy is. Completely surrendered. There might be, a connection to, I don't know, boats or ships here for you in your life. Maybe that means something to you. Maybe you've been looking for a sign like that. But overall, look how peaceful this guy is. Now, this is the Moon card. It does seem like the light will be shined on what's unclear for you. If it hasn't just yet, it will very soon. Now, looking at this guy, he's just floating in the water, but also being very peaceful with floating in the water. It's very connected for me with emotional cleansing and being okay by not seeing what's the outcome of a situation. Just being there, right? It seems like you were sailing somewhere and you took a minute to just relax and enjoy where he's at. So maybe that's something you're working on now, or it would be beneficial for you. Just taking a moment to stop and enjoy where you're at, right? Enjoy your surroundings. A bit like in the 8 of Cups, these are very, connected in a way. These both people are alone and they're both chilling, okay? And when I'm looking at the sunflower, it makes me think of forgiveness. So maybe with the resilience card, burn away the past, you are forgiving someone and you are starting new. There is a new spark. I want to clarify where this is taking you. What can you expect with this new spark? So remember how I talked about documents in the very beginning when I channeled? You see that? This woman is, let me see if I can focus. I don't think it's gonna happen. No. This woman is signing something on the wall. The way this makes me feel like there's someone wanting to leave something behind them. Maybe some type of heritage or something that means something to the family here. But overall, you are being asked to just be in the moment as much as you can and have a bit more patience, because it does seem like something is going to pay off. What's gonna pay off? Pile number 1. Okay. If you've been struggling or if you had conflicts in your own headspace, sometimes when you argue with yourself, you're like, don't know, no, it's gonna happen like this, no, I don't know what to do. Or if you had some type of a clash with someone or an argument, this is going to be resolved here. But again, this person is going to the water. I don't know why there is a strong connection for you here. It's very personal for all of you with water, but this is a big hint of emotional cleansing. And again, big ass moon over there, you see? I'd say connect to the moon right now. This is maybe some of you are working with moon, maybe with sky, I want to say, right? That's something that helps you. Maybe you're looking for answers in planets. If that's the case, you'll come across something that's going to be very beneficial for you. Okay. Yeah, look, we have the 10 of coins. It does seem like there's family very connected here. Heritage, family, well-being of a family and caring for one another. But again, this guy, I'm not going to show it to you from close up. It's not going to focus. He's holding a watch, a clock. Okay, so it's, for some of you, something might be taken, some time for you to see the fruit of your hard work. Once you plan that idea, I think for a lot of you have started working on this already. Once you plan that idea, you might need to wait for some time in order to see the results. But throughout this journey, you're being guided by the universe, because you keep looking at these planets, here. Yeah, 9 of Swords is here. Let's take a look at that. Let's see what's that about. What I'm looking at in the 9 of Swords is the rabbit, the white rabbit behind this guy. And maybe that's what's stressing you out. Rabbits are really quick and you want something to come quick and you're like, I don't have patience, or when is this going to happen? And that's something that is actually not helping you, but it's working against you, and maybe that's something that you're learning not to do anymore, right? I'm gonna be patient with myself. I'm gonna chill in my journey and just enjoy the moment a bit more, and I'll also take some time to realize what I'm letting go of, that something that happened to me in the past that actually happened for me. This is a big realization pile here, and I love this because it seems like you're doing maybe a lot of work on yourself, or maybe on other people, if that's something that you are connected to, if you do this job. Maybe for some of you, you are fighting for equality, or, you know, some type of rights here, because we have the human rights as well as equality now. Maybe that's something that is really important to you, and you're like, I'm not going to give up on this. Or someone, maybe you're fighting for someone's right, you're helping someone out. So kudos to you. Okay, let's see what else. What can you expect, pile number 1? What can you expect? Again, see the time? But this is the Ace of Pentacles, which is nice. What can you expect? It keeps talking about your hard work and not giving up here. If you're not gonna give up on something that matters to you very much, we have the 10 of Wands. We have the Ace of Pentacles as well as the 6 of Wands here. It's saying as long as you fight for what you believe in, that you can achieve this, you can make this happen, you will get the results. You have the 6 of Wands here. You're gonna be on top of your game. Yes, it might take, you know, a minute of struggle here. Yes, you might have to be patient, but that's almost like part of, you know, the test. How much do you want this? How much resilience do you have? See what I mean? So I hope that this made sense, pile number 1. Thank you, Tribe, for coming back. Love you as always. I'll catch you in the next one. Hey people, so whoever has chosen pile number 2, I'm gonna be channeling before we start this video. Now, what I'm sensing for a lot of you, I do believe that maybe your intuition or your third eye vision is a little bit more active the past days, weeks, maybe for some of you a month, but that's not going to be a lot of you. I'd say give yourself enough rest throughout this time, because it does seem like there's a lot of information coming through and you might be feeling exhausted around that time. Maybe for some of you, you've gone through some type of, you know, I don't want to say awakening. It's just like an energetic shift that has been felt, maybe not by only you, but by people around you as well, or the other intuitives, or people who do this psychic work as well. There's maybe some of you are interested in almost like, I want to say, a global shift in what's happening with the world, and maybe for some of you are interested in the ancient wisdom. And you're like, damn, you know, I'm getting a lot of downloads sometimes about the things that that came from the past times, maybe the past lives. This is interesting. I like this pile. All right, this is interesting. Okay, for some of you, you might be getting memories. If you don't have this just yet, maybe the next week or so, that's something that might happen to you, where you suddenly remember something that is not from this lifetime. Or maybe you have a conversation or you watch a video and you get somehow, your soul gets triggered, you know, in a way, and you're like, damn, why does it feel so intense for me? You know, this scenario, this story, this topic, and it might be triggered by your past life experiences. See, when it comes to past lives, we tend to get, you know, still carry certain symptoms. If the past life is still pending in a way, and there is something that wasn't finished in that past life, we tend to get triggers, symptoms, you know, that needs to be looked at or cleared. And that's something that we do in introspective hypnosis, you know, taking people back to those memories, but they go there themselves, like they are in control of the session fully, and they go back to that past life memory and kind of finish. So our job would be to guide them in order to finish that pending type of memory, right? Where sometimes it can clear emotional, some type of trauma, sometimes it can be physical pain, you know, that's still there from the past life. But that's interesting. I like that for you. It does seem like you're remembering. This is a time of remembering for you. So I'd say if you do have time, write it down and dig a little bit deeper into it. I do believe some stuff might come in this reading, might come out in this reading too. Since this is an interesting topic, I'm not going to push this reading to be based on past life. Because all of you are very different, but I do believe that something might come up as a symptom from the past life that could be looked at, or maybe for some of you are going through this in this lifetime. Let's see, let me have a sip of coffee. Let's go. All right. All right. Pile 2. What's up with you? What's up with you right now? What is going on? We have the 9 of Wands. Yeah, for me, this is all about something that you might be trying to fight back. You're like, I don't want this. I'm going to put my walls up. You know, this is something that I don't like talking about. So I'd say look at those things. What is it that you want to run away from, right? What is it that doesn't feel right for you? Do you feel like you tend not to face people when problems arise, or situations that are problematic? Maybe that's something that you haven't completely sorted before. Or maybe that's something that happened when you were a kid, and now this is almost like a repetitive pattern. I'm going to put my walls up. I don't want to face this. I don't feel comfortable in this. So if you did pay attention to that, and if you did start working on this, I do believe that this would open you up big time. Okay. I said open you up, and we have the Queen of Cups here. Yeah, there is a bit of fear here. You see the 7 of Pentacles here. She's afraid to touch those pentacles because of the roses. She's like, damn, my finger. I do believe maybe some of you are fighting your intuition sometimes. You're like, I don't want to see this. I don't want to hear this. Maybe you are very open to the spirit world, and you're like, nope, 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 nope. I don't want this. I don't feel comfortable about that. That's something that I don't think I do want to do. And maybe some of you are blocking it off. Now, for others of you, it can be any situation where you feel like, oh, if I do this, I might get hurt. I don't want to maybe open up to people, you know, too much, or I have problems with intimacy. That would be one more thing. Yeah, that feels the most present here in this reading. Problems with intimacy. If I do this, I'm going to get hurt. If I give my heart to someone, or if I open up, I'm going to get hurt. Fear of rejection, maybe. See, there's one person laying on the floor, and the others are helping her out. Now, what you need to know, pile number 2, that you're not alone in this, and there is people who really want to help you. I told you to get hurt. You see, she's holding her arm. She's like, oh, damn it, you know, I hurt my hand. And these people are like, you're good, you know, let us help you out. I think working with people and communicating with people that care for you very much would be great. So don't be afraid to open up and ask, especially ask for help if you feel like you need that, because she doubts that. She's like, I don't know, like, I'm fine, I can get up on my own. And these people are like, why? Like, we can help you out. What's the problem? We want to help you out. So seek for help. Maybe that's something that you don't want to do. Maybe you tend to be closed off, pile number 2. And maybe you've been given situations where you've been thrown in that, you know, and you have to ask for help, or you have to open up, and you're like, oh, again, like, I don't want to do this. So these are the hints, you know, that are being given to you. Work this out, you know, pay attention to this. You can do this. It's fine, right? It's uncomfortable, but once you do that, you're going to be completely free of that fear. Yeah, look, it seems like five of swords is here. If I do this, will there be conflict? Will I get hurt? You know, is someone after me? What is happening? Let's see. Someone is trying to avoid conflict, maybe by playing small. and these can be repetitive patterns that are being shown. One second, I want 2 cards. I do believe there is one extra message here for you guys. Maybe you've been feeling that someone doesn't feel right in a business sense. Someone feels off and you're like, or someone is trying to take away or play with your independence, okay? If that's the case, if that's something that you have been feeling and you had a similar scenario before where you didn't listen to your gut feeling, I'd say look into this a bit more. Because next to the 5 of Swords, we have the 9 of Pentacles here, and we started with the 3 of Pentacles as well. So this is the work situation of some sorts, and maybe you are a little bit like, should I collab with this person? Should I talk to them? You know, what should I do about this? See, I'm telling you, someone is afraid to get hurt. 3 of Swords here. Let's dig into the situation. Let's see. It's interesting in this, you know, in this reading today, we dig in very deep, and that's what I like my readings to be, because in that way, once we dig deep into the uncomfortable, we help ourselves get freed from a lot of things, right? So it improves our life. What is happening behind the 3 of Swords and the 5 of Swords and the 3 of Pentacles? Maybe number 9 and number 3 is important for you here. Yeah, these are your fears. Come on. I'm clarifying the 3 of Swords here. And the way that I'm feeling this card, everything is going to be fine, but sometimes you tend to make things in your own head. You know, make things up. Obviously, if you're feeling that someone is off and someone is going to literally break your heart and hurt you, if that's the intuitive hint, it's not coming from fear, that's something you could look at, because this is probably your higher self telling you already what may happen. Some of you maybe have gone through this already, and that's why you put your walls up and you're like, I don't want to do this anymore. I don't want to open up because I've been through a lot of shit. So maybe working on that and not thinking that you're going to attract the same situation would be great for you, because it's very simple. What you think of, what you're afraid of, that's what you attract, right? There's a story that I remember my brother was telling me about his friend who was terrified. Every time he would drive, he'd be terrified of an animal crossing the road. And every time he encountered the animal on the road, my brother was in the car with him one time, and he said, what do you know? There's an animal crossing the street. He hit the brakes. And he's like, I can't do this anymore, you know? And that's what we create. We get the same types of scenarios, what we are afraid of, or the cycle that we need to break away from, that pattern, right? It keeps repeating until one day we get fed up and we're like, I gotta sort this out. Right? I gotta sort this out. There's no need for me to be in this type of vibe. Okay. What can you do right now for yourself, pile 2? Speak clearly, compassionately, but clearly. What is it that you want to say? For some others of you, if you are unclear about, or if you're lacking information about this situation, I'd say maybe dig deeper, read, research, figure out what you need to figure out, especially if that's something legal that's happening here. And that's not for all, not for many of you. What could you do for yourself? You see that guy is, I don't know how well you can see because it never focuses like that, but that guy is holding a bird, and this guy is about to set that bird free. And the way that I'm thinking about this is literally you setting free your fears and you upgrading yourself, right? Energetically. And you're like, nope, letting this go. That's something that has happened before. Now, for some of you, as I said, this might be a past life trauma. Okay, that you haven't finished somehow, you held on to something maybe around the time of death, It's important what we think, right? Just at the time of death, if we think, oh my God, I don't want to let go, I don't want to let go. It's a pending type of scenario that we might need to look at during hypnosis, and then we go back and we kind of finish it, gracefully in a way, and ask person to go towards the light. Okay, because once they have that grip, they're like, I don't see where the light is, I don't know where to go. And that might be some type of pending scenario here, where maybe your soul has somehow, your soul might be triggered by similar types of scenarios, something I talked about in the intro. Don't get scared, this is completely normal. We all have certain things like that, right? We all have those types of traumas, would it be from childhood or past lives, because there is a lot that we have encountered. This is for your own good. This information, if it sits with you, closely, that's a message for you, okay? I always like to remind you to filter out the messages because of the amount of people watching this and the energies that I'm tapping into. See what sits right with you and what you're like, damn it, it feels right to me. That's your message. Okay, what else do you need to look at? We have the Ace of Swords. Okay. And I want to sleep in pile number 2. Maybe give yourself a bit more rest. Give yourself a bit more rest. Maybe you are deciding to change relationship or change the connection with a female in your life. That's something that I'm picking up here. You may have some type of an idea about the female in your life, and you're like, let me let this go. So it can be just energetic tie of some sorts. It doesn't have to be that deep. But what I'm paying attention to is in the Eight of Cups, there is a hill and there is a house, and the lights are on, and this person is walking towards that place. It's almost like you in the midst of searching where you came from. Maybe your background, maybe your past lives, where you lived. Maybe you're remembering suddenly, you've been drawn to certain locations and you're like, I don't know why I'm being drawn to that country. But your soul is like, go there, there's something there for you, right? Maybe something that you left off, or something that you need to take from that place because your intuition is calling you there. Yeah, for some of you, you were kings or queens in the past life. And as I split the deck, we have the Justice, which is a bit of a karmic card. Depends on the spread, but here especially. And maybe something has happened in the past life where you... You either were saved by someone or you had to save someone. And maybe in this lifetime, you tend to do that too much, where you're trying to save someone or give too much. And then at the end of the day, you're like, damn it, I did it again, right? Or maybe that's someone else. So it depends. It depends. Let's pull a card from the Magic of You Oracle and let's see. What can you expect in the future energies? What are you doing for yourself? What are you clearing? Let's see. Magic of You Oracle. Maximus, how can you feed others when your own table is empty? We just talked about saving someone, right? Here you go. So basically the Ace of Swords, I'm reading this deck as a bit differently from regular tarot. It's saying don't hurt yourself when feeding others, right? Because for some of you, maybe these cards are a bit triggering, so I'm sorry if that's the case, but here we see the blood, right? Don't hurt yourself by giving too much to the other, okay? Because at the end of the day, you might be the one who needs that care and help, and you're like, I don't have energy for this, I don't want to do this. Oof, this is difficult. Maybe you're taking on too much or you're giving out too much. Let's see. Maximus card. Let's talk about this. I'm going to read this from the book. Maybe there's something that will stick to you. It says, you are maxed out, and yet, conversely, more is needed. More nourishment for yourself. You are spread too thin and your life force is draining. How can you feed others when your own table is empty? A new idea is waiting to be cultivated. Ace of Swords, a new idea, as evidenced by the flame in the bulb. Or perhaps it's time to stop sitting on an idea you've had for some time. The months are starting to gather, and as lovely as they are, they will slowly blot out your light. It's time to feed yourself in order to cultivate and harvest your next crop. Stop focusing on everyone else and the role you play in their lives. Till your own soil. Serve yourself the fruits of your own labor. The table is set with fine silver on a blood red cloth. In fact, the blood is pooling and indicating that your life force is draining. Capture it now and fill your cup. What is the purpose of these fine things if they are not used? See? Same goes for your energy. It doesn't have to be material. What is the purpose of your time, for example, if it's not used to better yourself, right? To make yourself feel better, to recharge. So that's what I have for pile number 1. I hope this is helpful. And tribe, thank you for coming back. I'll catch you soon. Hey tribe, welcome, welcome. Just let me volume down the music a bit. Okay, whoever has chosen pile number 3, I'm going to channel before we get into your reading. Let's see what comes up. I keep seeing someone cutting the chains off. So maybe you're feeling much freer than before in your life, or that's something that you are doing. I'm hearing, I want to set myself free. So it can be anything really. I'm not going to try and mention everything, but I'm looking at the roses. I want to say for some of you, there is an apology coming from the other side. What I mean by that, someone is apologizing, and it's someone who has passed away, and they are talking about time. So this isn't a message for everyone, obviously, but I'd say if that's something that sits close with you, this might be a message for you. Almost like, I'm sorry I didn't have enough time, or if you feel guilty about something, if you didn't spend enough time or you couldn't make it, they're saying this is fine, I'm giving you roses, you know. And the roses that I'm seeing are white, but the edges are a little bit pinkish, which is in a way how I like to see it. This is an apology, this is pure energy, forgiveness, as well as a bit of love with that pink color. Okay, so I keep wanting to say no hard feelings, no hard feelings. Let me see. I'm seeing a tent, and that tent turns into a pyramid somehow. So it's almost like it's transforming. Maybe for some of you, you're doing something that's connected to pyramids, maybe the shape of a pyramid. Maybe you are being drawn to buying a pyramid shaped type of object. And there's like a beam, you know, coming from it. I'd say continue doing so. Continue digging deep, because there are more messages than you know of. Okay, over time you're gonna figure out what that means to you. The tent reminds me of, I'm hearing younger days. There might be almost like a correlation to what you thought of or what you came across when you were younger. Especially, I'd say up to 10 years old. It doesn't have to be for all of you, but for most of you. And what it is that you are about to discover now, or you have just discovered. Memories might come through, but these memories are not about, like in other pile, about traumatic events. These memories are almost like they're dreamlike. Maybe something that you dreamed of when you were a kid, and now it's making much more sense. You know what I mean? So you are being asked to explore pile number 3. There is so much more to it than your naked eye can see, and over time you're going to discover more and more, I want to say, ancient wisdom, or things that happened to you in childhood that you couldn't make sense at that time, and now you're like, I know what this is. I was able to see this or feel that at that time. Whew. Okay, let's use cards. Let's see what's up. What do you need to know? Pile number 3. What's happening behind the scenes that you don't see, or maybe you just came across? You have the Magician as the first card. You know what I mean? Here you go. Here you go, the wisdom. Okay. What's happening behind the scenes? Mage of Coins. There's a lot to be said because your cards want to fly all over the place. Maybe red color is important to you right now. I'm going to show you cards in a minute. Ooh, this is strong. Ooh. Okay, so we're starting with the Magician. Look at the imagery of the Magician. I can't, it doesn't focus when I do the close-up. I don't know why, from front camera. But basically what this guy has, where's my pen? Okay, it's not existent apparently. But what this guy has, he has maps as well as the sword and a pentacle and the wand. But what I'm paying attention to the most are the maps. I'm telling you, you're remembering something, and you might remember more of it. This guy is just, is very peaceful. And you see the flowers behind him. His flowers came through here, the roses. There are roses and lilies, so maybe you want to look up the meaning of those. But what's happening here, there's more light being shined through that window, and it's a very ancient type of place that he's in. This is some type of memory that can be coming from the past life, okay, where you're like, ooh, this feels familiar to me. I don't know why, but this pile overall is very mysterious, very magical. Maybe a lot of you are digging into the planets. If Joseph Moon, if you are watching this, you're probably interested in sky astrology. How is it? Sky astrology? I'm not sure, but if you want to ask Joseph Moon, he is very fascinated by that. Why I'm saying that, we have the Mage of Coins. You see those stars over there? What's happening, you might be picking up the energy of the collective in the world, okay? And maybe you're really good at translating the information that you're getting from above and kind of grounding it and telling it to people. What's happening on the universal level. So if that's something that you've been interested lately, or if you just started digging into this is your message. You're gonna figure out so much more. Do your research, keep digging into it. You are the magicians, you are the high priestesses and the high priests here, and there's a reason you came into this world, in order to somehow help I want to say the families. So maybe for some of you that's something that's important for you, the family dynamics, or people to understand the heritage and how the cycles work. That's what I want to say, how the cycles work. What you brought from the past, would it be from the childhood or from past lives, what you knew back then, and what do you know now? What you're not able to see just yet is that you're still in this moment of research, of getting to know things, of digging deep into things. You still need a moment to process everything, because it's almost like the information is not grounded just yet. And once you'll feel like you're in a good place, I do believe that you're going to be sharing this with the world, and you're going to be talking about some things that are very meaningful for a lot of people. I'm hearing ending cycles, realizing where we came from and what impact we had and we have today. Whew. All right. I don't know why I want to say Arabic countries. I'm just going to leave it there. Maybe someone can make sense of what this is for them. You have the Ace of Wands. I'm feeling that there is a delay of some sorts to some kind of a project or idea, but that delay has to happen almost because you need to know more or you need to be ready. This has to be at the right time. If you'll push it, you'll rush it, it's gonna be half finished and it's not gonna be as strong as you want it to be. And as I said strong, I looked at the Strength card. What's happening? I said high priests and high priestesses. Here you go. She's here. So you have the Ace of Wands. Again, look how this is tied in. You have that window over here and you have a similar window here. I do believe by either visiting a place or talking to people from other places, you might have an idea about something that is quite meaningful, and here you go, going on to some type of venture. The vibe of pile number 3 is very different to the vibe probably that I'll have for all 4 piles, because I'm still haven't done the pile number 4, but pile 1 and 2 where we are digging into deep things. We'll do that here too, in order for you to help yourself to improve certain things. When it comes to your own journey, because this feels very universal on what you're doing for the world, okay? But let's see, here with the Strength card, you see that star is guiding you. This is not a star card, this is a Strength card. You're being guided and you can see what that line, where that light is shining. Again, in the Mage of Coins, you had those stars too. You sometimes maybe can't make sense of certain things that are happening around you or to you, or things that you are getting, but you need to know that that star is right behind you, and trust on what type of information the light is being shined on, because you're being shown certain things at the exact time when you need it. Okay, with the High Priestess, keep gathering that knowledge, keep digging deep. This is saying there's a lot to uncover. She has a massive ass book, almost like bigger than her. Okay, what pile number 3 need to look at for themselves? What do you need to look at for yourself? Did I mention that I saw chains in the intro? Sometimes I don't remember if I said it or I just saw it in my mind. I need to sometimes differentiate what I'm sensing and what I'm saying. But here you go, you have those chains. Now, when it comes to the Four of Swords here, it does seem like maybe, the way that I'm picking this up, there is a repetition of some sorts when it comes to your routine or your dreams, your sleep, I want to say. It's saying give yourself enough sleep because you're doing a lot of things. Make sure you give yourself rest. We have the Five of Wands. Otherwise, everything might be very chaotic for you. And you might not be able to make sense of certain things that you are getting, okay? Ten of Swords. This is a lot to do in your headspace, the conflict that you have sometimes in your head. What do I do? Where do I go? Is that right? Is that wrong? You know? Maybe sometimes you're like, oh, I just want to switch it off. I just want to switch it off. But it's part of you. It's something that you came here to do. We have the Fool. It's saying embrace this journey as the Fool would, right? The Fool would enjoy the journey and wouldn't overthink things. And maybe that's something that is needed for you here. I'd say overall your thoughts. Track your thoughts, you know. It's not to say that you have to completely get rid of your thoughts. That's impossible. But make sure that your thoughts don't represent who you are, because some of them are liars, okay? And you have the Nine of Cups. Okay, I like this. There is some kind of a wish that has been promised to you. And I'm saying has been promised to you because it feels like when you reincarnated that you signed that contract that I'm going to get this done, or I'm going to get this, you know, I'll be given this. Let's see. What's that about? For some of you, part of the contract was that you're not going to get it straight away. You're going to have to experience different things until you get to the place where you want to be, because you have to experience the I want to say the 3D things before you, because you need that knowledge, right? As a human being, I've been through shit, you know, understand it now. I know how to overcome certain things before you are able to celebrate what it is that you're being given. I keep hearing life is a celebration, so maybe that's what kind of lifestyle you're trying to aim for. Something connected to home here I'm seeing. And the Sun card, this is your happiness. What you're seeking for is happiness, and it's not to do with it's not as much to do with finances. It's to do with how you live your day, you know, what you do throughout that day, the meaningful things that you do, and where you go. We have the Novice of Wands, yeah, where you go with that book of knowledge, you know, the cities that you explore, and the places where you maybe have visited in the past life as well. And it's very warrior-like type of energy, you know, that you bring in here. But remember that warrior has to enjoy time off battle, okay? And that's something that you're being asked to do. You might be, you know, fighting for people, for humanity, or wanting to do better for them. But remember that the soldier needs time off as well. They go back home, they stay with their family, they do things that they like doing with the Sun card, right? There is that Four of Wands here. And that's when they are fulfilled completely, having that balance between the two, okay? Let's take a look at what it is that you might need to look at, something to be worked on pile number 3 in order to improve your well-being. We have doable card. The key is within your grasp. It's almost like maybe in life you feel like you are tested sometimes. I can't get this, you know, soon enough, or I can't get this easy. This is part of your journey. Okay, it's not about pointing fingers or victim mentality when you see that you need time for certain things to develop, because for you it's a lot to do with the journey and what you're picking up throughout that journey, okay, and the tools that you have after you complete that journey and you start a new one. And a doable card, if you can see, there is a person's hand reaching through the glass, reaching for the key. I'll get this regardless. It's going to be mine, even though it's going to be difficult. Nothing can stop me. That's what kind of energy you have and you're being asked to embrace. I'm going to read this card from the book. Maybe for some of you, some sentences will stick out. There are no limits here. The message for you is there is no limit for you unless you put a limit on yourself. It says, what you seek is within your grasp. As with all yeses, there are adjustments. Release yourself from a lingering mental prison of fear that you are not enough. We talked about your thoughts, right? That you are not worthy. You have the right key. Don't doubt it. It's time to be grateful for your teachers. Here you go. Even the ones whose lessons you didn't necessarily like. Past lovers, past employers, bullies, cyber stalkers. All had lessons to teach you. Incredibly, when you meditate on gratitude for these lessons, the struggles around you dissipate. The key to opening the rest of your life hovers within your grasp. It's yours to use. The girl of doable fearlessly breaks through the glass ceiling and grabs the potent symbol of her getting of wisdom. The golden key. Tears of blood are shed, residues of past pains and losses reflected in the carved face on the entryway above her, are now transformed into power and assertiveness. If this card is drawn at a time you are seeking to step up into the next wildly acknowledged level of success, we talked about the world, right? Whether it be career advancement, passing a test, being accepted into an institute of learning, this card indicates that the answer is yes. Keep kicking ass, pile number 3. Don't allow your thoughts to hold you back, your fears and your anxieties. If you feel sometimes that, oh, I'm doing great, but then that, you know, that lingering thought comes up like, are you really great? Are you really doing good enough? Your thoughts isn't a representation of you. Remember that. Acknowledge it's there. I know you're there. This is my fear. Brush it off and let's move on. So I hope this is helpful, pile number 3. Thank you for coming, tribe. I'll catch you soon. Hey, pile number 3 people. I'm just gonna grab your deck. Whoever has chosen these 2 Polaris deck, I'm gonna channel before we get into the reading. Maybe for some of you are getting sensations like your nose tingling, you know, or maybe top of your head sometimes when you are connected, or when something is being confirmed to you. Yeah, I'd say pile number 4, I'd pay attention to sensations that your body gives to you. It's almost like maybe if you're talking to someone on the phone and suddenly you feel your liver, you know, and you're like, whatever. It does feel like you getting messages about people through your body somehow. I'm not gonna get into the specific scenarios here, but I'd say that's something to maybe look into. Maybe that's the ability that you have, and maybe you haven't paid attention to this. Sometimes it's difficult to grasp or notice such things, especially if you're doing this work, you know. You'd know that it's difficult if you're just starting, because in order to get those messages, what you need to do is to become a bit of a blank canvas, so that every type of sensation that you get, you pay attention to it. Maybe some of you are mediums here. Maybe that's something that that you're already using in your work, you know. The deceased give you those types of feelings. I want to stretch in pile number 4, so maybe that's something that you're doing already. If you feel like you're a little bit, especially your back, if you feel like you're a bit like, my back muscles are tense like a stone, maybe a massage would be beneficial for you, or stretching in the morning, you know. Maybe starting your morning with a better routine, if that's something that you, because I keep hearing a lot of people are doing some type of exercise here. This is your pat on the back, if you have been doing this. Someone's grandma or grandpa came through very quickly. It's they don't want me to get into the messages. They like, I came through or I heard you. Okay, so if you've been talking to them, or if you have been thinking about them, it's almost like there's that connection that's being confirmed here, acknowledgement. I feel like a lot of you might have some type of, you know, I want to say internal anxiety, where you might think that you relax. Let's say you're watching a movie, but really you kind of tense, you know, you're not completely relaxed. I think you're gonna find your way of being better at this. Maybe a person you come across who can help you out with this, because this is emotional. This isn't as much physical. This is coming from your emotional tension, or something that you've dug really deep underneath, and now it's there and it needs to be looked at. Maybe some of you feel sometimes that your stomach is bloated, you know, when you're stressed. That's where your emotions lie. Okay, something that you're like, okay, I'm just gonna go through this. I'm not gonna show that I'm stressed, or I'm not gonna say something that's sitting, you know, that's been sitting there with me for a while. It can be chest or it can be belly for some of you. Overall, I'm saying pay attention to your body, because your body is talking to you. Would it be the work that you do about other people, or would it be something that needs to be looked at yourself? Okay. Maybe for some of you, snake symbolism is important. Every time I'd see, you know, those snakes like that in the reading, it talks about health. Maybe you focused on improvements in your health. And I want to smile. So for a lot of you, you're going to find yourself in a much better place. I'm seeing almost like a battery levels going up. So whatever you'll be doing in your everyday routine is going to be helping you to stay more energized. Okay. Let me have a sip of coffee. I said energized. Here we go. Okay, I want to breathe in and breathe out in pile number 4. And I think that's something that you need, and especially my belly. I want to release something from my belly that I've been holding for too long. Opening up to someone would help big time. If, let's say, it doesn't have to be big. For example, if you felt really stressed about something at work, on the way maybe back home, would it be in the car, on the train, on the bus, you know, just talk to someone. Just say, hey, you know what, I've had a really stressful day and I felt like this and I felt like that. Just put it out there, you know. There are a lot of people who want to care for you, and sometimes maybe you're holding some stuff in that you feel like it's not important, but it's really important for your well-being, okay? All right, maybe breath work would be great for you. And with every breath out, maybe visualize that you're releasing anything, any tension, anything that doesn't belong to you. What do we have? We have the Hermit. Here you go. What to what to pay attention to. Give yourself that time of peace, meditation, relaxation, okay? What does pile number 4 need to know about? If that's something that you're doing professionally, good job. You're helping a lot of people to release that tension, okay? Because I'm feeling for some of you, you might be in this field. Would it be yoga? Would it be, I don't know, meditations, breath work, spiritual work, whatever that is for you. Don't shout at me, Tarot. 1 second. I'm going to show you cards in a minute. My nose keeps itching in pile number 4. Maybe that's something that you keep getting. Okay. Bear with me. I want to clarify something. All right, we have Hermit. As I showed you, we have the 4 of Pentacles. We have the Temperance. We have the 5 of Swords. And we have the Page of Cups. Is someone giving you a headache? Because my head, the side of my head started being a bit heavy. What needs to be looked at is obviously with Temperance, balance, and the Hermit is here, your own well-being, but this is it's emotionally based. And I'm being told to let you know that you don't have to suffocate yourself when it comes to certain interactions. If you do feel like you don't vibe with someone and you don't have a foundation why, you don't have to push the connection. You can just say, you know what, maybe if you are in this field, maybe you're not the person this person has to reach out to. Maybe you're not the person who needs to give them a message, and you feel it intuitively, and you're like, I don't feel like I want to work with this person. But overall, you're being asked to avoid chaotic type of encounters, and maybe there is someone or something that's been repeating itself with the 4 of Pentacles here. I don't want to let this go. This is something that I'm used to. Make sure that you are not used to chaos by now. People can get used to a lot of difficult things if they stay long enough in those chaotic type of situations or relationships or jobs, right? We can adapt big time, but is that something that we need? Probably not, right? There is a better way, or maybe you need to learn this lesson for a lot of you. There's something that you are uncovering here, and I want to look into this. There's something that you're going to be happy about, or you just went through this. I'm hearing discovery, happy discovery, information that came through, or maybe something that you found somewhere. Okay, I keep hearing this part of you wants to be birthed. For a lot of you, what you are discovering is that you are able to be the boss of your life that you want to be. There is that rediscovery happening when it comes to yourself. I'm hearing, I finally found myself. If that's not the place you're in just yet, you might be going through this in the future. There is something that you want to bring out of yourself, you know. And it's almost like I have this personality trait, but don't want to show it to people. Maybe self-confidence issues. I hear you're good when you're on your own. Maybe you're an introvert, but when it comes to you know, talking to other people, even if they are close to you, you don't feel your 100% authentic self. And that's something that your higher self wants you to dig into. Why this is happening, be the person that you are. There is so much more to you than you show to the world. You have these strong qualities. Bring it out, show it to the world. That's what I'm picking up here. And you're like, don't know about this. I don't know about this. Can I do that? I'm good here. I'm good on my own. The Three of Cups came reversed. Right now you're being asked to, if you can, you know, talk to as many people as you can, connect with other people. Do not ditch and do not brush off new relationships, especially when it comes to friendships, because there are going to be people who will be those lucky and those super cool, nice passengers, and you need to connect to them. It does seem like those couple of people whom you're gonna meet along this journey of yours will help you to bring out those types, you know, of traits in you a bit more, out of you a bit more. And you're gonna finally be, you know, a bit like in the Three of Cups. You're careless, you enjoying your life, you don't feel like you have to guard yourself in any way. Overall, in pile 4, there is a hint for new connections and friendships, but there is one more message here for someone out there. Your boss is watching you, and you probably have felt it before. Your boss is watching you, how well you are doing, and you're like, don't look at me. Why are you getting in my business? Right? Okay, let me see what else. What you don't see, pile number 4. What you don't see. Oh, too many cards. You are more capable of things than you think you are. Okay? Sometimes you might get lost in your own thoughts, maybe daydreaming. Your cards are asking you to take control. You have the Magician here, the King of Pentacles, and the Seven of Cups. You need to know that there are a lot of options and opportunities for you out there if you allow yourself to bring those in, because sometimes you might close yourself off and you're like, maybe a bit of self-sabotage. Am I good enough? Or do I deserve this? At the back of your head, you do deserve this. This is saying, let's make it real. Let's make it a reality now. Let's bring it in a bit more. There is the masculine energy that's important in your life right now. Maybe you are going to be drawn to sorting out or becoming closer to your father or father image in your life. You know, whoever that father is for you. Sometimes our, you know, older brothers can be a bit like fathers to us, but you're becoming closer to a masculine here in your life. You have really great cards. You have the Magician, King of Pens, the Seven of Cups, as well as the High Priestess. There will be a time, or there is time already, where you'll be getting quite a lot from above. And it's saying when that's happening, just feel it and listen. Okay? Don't have to see everything clearly. Just feel it, smell it, listen. We're gonna give you some type of hints I'm seeing here. Okay? Especially when it comes to your independence, or when it comes to your business. There is so much more to be discovered. You have a lot of wisdom. If you're feeling like something is holding you back, you can make it happen. You can explore. You can travel wherever you want to be, and you can change your domestic environment. Whew. Let's pull a card from the Magic of You Oracle. Let's see what pile number 4 can focus on for their own well-being, or what needs to be cleared. Okay, 2 cards wanted to come out. We have the Serendipity card, merged with the flow. And we have the resilience card. I'm just going to talk about resilience card, and we're going to read the serendipity card. This is saying basically allow the past traumas, past events that are maybe haunting you sometimes to die peacefully. Burn it down, okay? What happened in the past isn't defining you today anymore, okay? Let's see, where's the book? Merge with the flow. Okay, that's something that you might need to look at or do more of. Merge with the flow. It says, be aware that opportunities are lining up around you. Here you go, I told you that, right? Merge into the flow of life. Trust it in all its light and shadows. They have brought you to this point. Maybe unknowns to you, you are perfectly poised for opportunity right now. Trust your efforts and recognize the signs of serendipity occurring around you. This means you are where you are meant to be, doing what you are meant to be doing. Be conscious of follow-up and... give me a moment. Be conscious of follow-up and follow-through. Good fortune forms around you. Right. The girl of serendipity merges into the leaves of life, and they welcome her into their nourishing and lush embrace. Like them, she is growing in abundance and opportunity. Fresh potential awakens. I like this for you. Everything happens in its right time and place, exactly as it's meant to. Yeah, so these are your opportunities in the future. You have a lot of choices. You have the Nine of Pentacles right next to you. You can bring in a lot of things for you with the Magician as well as the King of Pentacles. And these cards are asking you to focus a bit more on that abundant energy. Come from gratitude, you know. Thank for what you already have. But I feel like for a lot of you have done that already, and now is only about the time when these fruits of labor and that, you know, abundance is going to come in your life. So have your hands open, a bit like here. The more you enjoy life, the quicker these things come. And this is very true. I've tested it many times. You know, the more I push something to happen, the more it's being withheld, because I'm forgetting how to enjoy life. I'm like, I want to make this happen. I want to, you know, have this project, you know, or release it in the best possible way. And it has to be perfect. And I'm just going to do it. I'm not going to have a day off, or I'm going to have less time off until this happens, until I finish it. And everything suddenly doesn't work for me. The tech doesn't work. I can't find the information. Creativity is gone, and I'm being completely pushed out of that to take some time off. So the past years, what I'm trying to do, once that happens, I just completely leave it behind. And I go and enjoy life with my friends. I go for a beer with my mates, right? Or I find a recipe and I cook something for myself and my family. I go on a trip, right? And during that time, I completely like enjoy being in the moment. I'm not thinking about anything that's connected to it. If I have an idea, that's what you'll notice. You might get brilliant ideas on time off, and it comes out of nowhere, you know? You see something, maybe you look at that tree and you're like, oof, that's a great idea. Write it down on your phone and leave it there and keep on enjoying your life. You will see how that way you'll be in balance, and you allow everything that's been waiting for you to come in. The same way would be for relationships. If you're very focused on something, you want to make it happen, and it doesn't happen, obviously that might be just the wrong type of person for you. But sometimes it happens where the person wants other person to act certain way, or to sort some kind of a trait that they don't like, right? And the more they push it, the more person does it. Try and have some more fun and just kind of let it go as much as you can, and see how that person acts then. It's not about telling people what to do. Sometimes we have to, you know, kind of find the common ground, and balance is really important when it comes to things like that. So I hope that this is helpful. Pile number 4. Tribe, thank you for coming back. I'll catch you soon. Bye for now.